Hey YouTube, welcome back to UniXDBS, and thank you for just, chilling with the wait. This weekend got a little hectic, and I definitely slept like 17 hours. So we're back on the grind. We're back on the non-shortage of content dropping. So today, as the title would assume, we're gonna go back into the Archetype breakdowns. And on my last video, you guys voted, or more outcry was shown for the jumping into the cooler Galactic Dynasty deck, and so I will do that today. Tomorrow we'll go over the first two reveals of blue, first 2 days of reveals of blue, and the day after that we will go into the meta cooler breakdown, and then on Thursday we will cruise into the second 2 days of blues reveals. And yeah, on Friday we'll see what's up with that. Maybe the archetype breakdown for blue, if we have all the blue cards by then, we will see. But past then we'll kind of play it by ear. We also have another fight night that's being edited, so that could be one of the things to come up on Friday too. We will see. But thank you guys for being here, for all the support, and we're gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep it going. We get a lot of content coming up. So with that being said, let's get into the normal shoutouts. We got the official Facebook group. You should join that because that's where we get all these spoilers as well as our official announcements. Also, shoutouts to Bandai for having more tournaments up. I will say that it takes a lot of the community stepping up to change things, but I also have to definitely point out that these were all planned. Like, nothing this company does is last minute for the most part. Like, I think these 2 online tournaments were, but if it's in person, chances are they've been working on it for months. So I do want to get it clear. We do need people being vocal about what's not good in the game, but these in-person tournaments are not a result of the people complaining online. There's a time and a place, and we are definitely working from all avenues, the community, like behind the scenes, things like that. But yeah, this is I just want to let you know that there are things that the complaining is putting in motion. There are things like Gen Con and this other PPG tournament that have nothing to do with it. Moving past that, you've got the unofficial discussion group, you've got the unofficial Reddit, you've got the Universe X Discord. Talk goes down all of these places, and so you should probably hop on there. Last but not least, there's a shout out to my friend, partial sponsor, TCGMetalZ. Always got stuff cooking, and he actually got a good placing with a dark Broly deck that's different from the ones that you guys have been seeing lately. So we're going to go into a deck profile on that. Him and I are still setting up the times we want to do it, as well as a setup for a giveaway when it comes to his brand new dark Broly cards, metal cards. So there we go. Let's hop onto DBS Deck Planet so I can show you guys the deck list on the game's current snazziest online deck builder, and then we'll go to Untap so I can kind of show you the reps. Last but not least, if you guys are liking the content, think about hitting that subscribe button, notification button, and yeah, we will keep putting out content as this channel continues to thrive and grow, and I'm just happy for all your support. Yeah, so let's get into it. All right, so we are here looking at the preliminary deck list. Like I said, I always like to build little skeletons so that you guys can just kind of see where you can start with this deck. Now, you guys are going to notice this deck is actually kind of like a really better built Drip-Ku in terms of the leader effect. The main difference is while the leader doesn't have half as many offensive, threats on the back, he's still going to plus whenever a leader, or whenever a unison hits your grave once per turn, hits your drop. And that means that you're not trying to set up with certain cards like Piccolo or the Vegeta SR for the Goku deck. You're actually just playing straight, into your deck strengths while going off with it. The other thing is he has that Dark Broly effect where instead of dropping, 0 cost 30Ks or 0 combo 30Ks, he's going to be dropping unisons, and that happens as many times as you want it. So his back end is going to defend itself so much better with this high unison count, because as long as you're a leader, you're going to be able to combo with it, and that makes a really good setup. So what I have here are, you have Cooler, the Mighty Sibling in space at 4. This guy is going to be your Hyper Awaken. Now, he's not going to really be a threat as much because this happens as much on your opponent's turn as it does your turn, and it only activates, for the duration of the turn. So yeah, he's not going to be your best swinger, but he's going to be a swinger. And on top of being a swinger, the most important part about him is that he's going to help you awaken faster, because this guy is like a monster when he's awakened. Then you're going to have 4 of the coolest super combos. These could be Paraguses, because Paraguses will probably they're just worded better, but I do like the tuck 1 draw 2s a lot. Then Ribrianne, this is just kind of like a random throw-in to fill in some space. You can combo with her, you can use her, and this deck has a little bit of hand destruction built in. So depending on how it goes, you can put yourself in a position where you can have them on already a small hand and start using your, start pivoting to use your energy to start picking away at what hand they have left. Easily one of the best cards in this deck. You got the Cooler, Sibling Cruelty, being able to come down for 1 when the settings is right, and come down for the rip 1 from hand, and you know, just being able to be double strike 20k. 4 Charismatic Villains for the counter plays, especially since you can essentially double Charismatic Villain between the Salsa into the Cooler, or into the Frieza when you have the right hand set up. You got Majin Buu, Kibito Kai Absorbed, because this is going to be like the next Pan. You won't have a lot of battle cards, and I don't feel comfortable playing Pan because it's fully dependent on what your opponent's playing. But you are going to be able to play this guy. You're going to be able to Spirit Boost 2 to take your opponent's unison, and whether you are killing your unison with the -2 or you're just taking their unison and then overriding it and having your green unison go to the drop, you're going to be able to get Cooler's effect, if I'm not mistaken, so that's pretty cool. Then also his Activate Battle, by playing this card, your opponent's not going to be able to attack with battle cards for the turn, and that is really good in stopping your opponent from just destroying your cheeks. 4 Demigra, Unison of Sorcery, because when you play Demigra turn 1, your opponent just sits there, and whether they attack your leader or attack your unison, either way you're still getting closer to Awakening, and that's going to be a huge boon. 4 Frieza Galactic Dynasty, because when you play this, you're just going to be able to minus your opponent by 1 card in hand in most cases, and that's just incremental disadvantage. Salsa, because that's another charismatic villain, and it's very strong. The fact that you can use this card and kill something, and then they play a second card, and you can charismatic villain them afterwards, is very powerful. And then you've got Dore, Cooler's Armored Squadron. This guy exists because when he gets played for the right in power and marker cost, he's going to be able to search the 1-drop to help you awaken. Then you've got Nice. He's the probably weakest one out of them, but he is a counter. It's just this deck has a fair amount of negates, and so I'm not quite sure how much I'll need it, but he's still good, and he still can 2-for-1 your opponent, so I have 2 of them in there. You've got 4 of the guy himself, making swinging into 2 or 3 open energy very scary. But he's also a boss card on his own, so we have to keep in touch with that. 3 Shocking Death Ball, 3 Dormant Potential Unleashed, and 3 Realm of the Gods. Also kind of filler tech slot, but I wanted more removal for things that could get a little too hairy. But also on the defense, it's going to allow me to defend myself, but also get rid of a card that they weren't willing to combo with. So there's a couple things in here. A little bit of hand destruction, but also just kind of the deck's main moving and shaking. So we're going to go over to Untap now and just kind of show you guys some of the plays that you can do once you get rolling. So here we go. We are going to roll to see who goes first. I got a 2, so chances are I'm going second. This is a deck that does not mind going second. And then I got they got a 14. So let's see our opening hand. I would love to open up with, let's see. It would be cool to open up with a Demigra. Yes, boy. This is what's up. This is honestly what's up. This card text me. Okay, well, I don't know why it's showing me its shift right there. Okay, cool. So yeah, when your card, yep. Green unison cards placed in the drop area. Okay, this is perfect. This is perfect. I don't even know what cards I would want outside of here. We can actually keep this entire hand because Ribrianne will just be an easy charge. Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. We're just gonna keep this entire hand. I don't see anything I don't want to put back at this very moment. So we're gonna put up the 8 life points, right? And we're going second. So we're gonna draw a card. Cooler, okay, cool. We're just gonna, we have 2 coolers and we'll be using this for a couple turns. Meanwhile, Ribrianne can potentially put in work earlier. So we're gonna put that as one of my charges. Tap 1 for Demigra. Plus 1. So it's gonna be at 2 markers. And now we can swing with our leader. And because I don't wanna replace Demigra right now, I think the play is to just draw 1 from my life and then draw 1 from hand. Oh, I'm so stupid. I am so stupid. I apologize. The play is to draw 1 from life and play the Demigra. I forgot that's not archetype specific. You can play any 1 cost. So here what we're doing. We're playing this 1 cost with 1 counter on it, and there's that. And then we're playing tap 1 to play the Cooler. I apologize for that blunder. I literally was thinking out the move in my head and just completely disregarded it. After playing that, we are going to just plus 1 and then swing for the 15k. So we got 2 damage in and we can pause there. Right here, it doesn't matter where they swing. It's just if they swing, we're going to be taking a life. On turn 1, there's not terribly too many cards that are going to interact with Cooler. You could get thwarting. That could happen, but it really depends. On a lot of cases, this is going to survive on a turn 1 if you're going first. But if they swing at Demigra, I won't get a combo phase. I'm still gonna take a life though, and that's where that's at. So drawing here, we now have some options. We don't need to be using Dore as much, because normally what we would be trying to do is, we're gonna put that there. Normally what we'd be trying to do is, this isn't a once per, yeah, okay. We'd be trying to get in on the effects of Dore to get the 1-drop, but we already have the 1-drop. So right here, we can actually awaken on this turn if we so chose. There's a lot of avenues that we can take, but let's just get in there first. We're going to +1 this guy, and after +1ing Demigra, we're gonna swing in with Demigra for the 15, okay? Then we're gonna swing with Cooler, and after we swing with Cooler, we're going to draw 1 to hand from life. We are going to not draw a second one, but instead, you know, I think we're just gonna draw 2 here, actually. We're gonna draw 2 here, and we are going to play, we're gonna combo out to 15 just to put the Ribrian in there to kind of present it. And what we can do here is tap this one to play Frieza Galactic Dynasty. Frieza Galactic Dynasty is gonna come into play. It's going to empower 2, so it's gonna come in for a full 3, and then it's going to rip a card from my opponent's hand. After ripping a card from my opponent's hand, I have 2 effects. This guy is going to take 1 from my life, and this guy is going to draw me 1. So here we are. We are here with all of that. The next thing I'm going to do here is +1, so you get the extra attack. We can swing for another 15, and then we can also swing here for another 20k. And now we have a hand that's set up with Dormant, that's set up with Charismatic, that has a super combo in it, and this Cooler right here. And we're starting to build up that, like, you know, back end of effects. And I like that. I like that a lot. Now what we can also do here is we can choose to awaken if we want to dig 1 card deeper, but I don't really feel like we're pressing the energy on my turn, so why do it? You know what I'm saying? So we can wait here. I mean, we have the ability to hit them with a Frieza when they try to play something stupid. If they want to start swarming, we also have Dormant, which you can destroy certain cards, but also stop ourselves from being destroyed. And we have a fair amount of, we have a super combo in here that we can use as defense. So this is actually a pretty cool place to be in, especially seeing that next turn, okay, we got another Ribrian. That's actually pretty cool. I'm trying to think of what I want to charge here. I think it either goes to Door or it goes to this one. I think, no, what we do here is we play this, right? Because we're not really going to be using another one. But for this guy, it says add up to 1 card for my life demand. Okay, cool. So we can +1 on this one. I mean, he probably swung on it like once or twice. That's fair. We can just put that anywhere. But we can +1 and swing for 15, okay? What we can also do is tap 1 and kill this. And we can play the Door here. After playing the Door, it says 1 of your green cards, life is, okay. You may draw 1 card, add 1 card. Okay, so we actually need to awaken before we use it. But when we play the Door over this, we're gonna get the once per turn effect of drawing because one of our unison cards went away. And then we can also search our deck for the Cooler, which could have been done before or after we drew because it would have sucked to draw into a Cooler. There are no copies left though because it normally shows up at the very beginning of the set. So there's gotta be like 1 in life. After we do that, we can +1 him again and swing. We have another 15k swing here. And then we can also flip to alt face to draw and to draw. So we got 2 of those. That's pretty neat. Let me see what we want to do here. Draw 1 if you don't. Okay. We still have a little bit of gas here. We can swing with our leader this time and draw 1 more card. Not a unison, but we're pretty okay here. Now let me see how many unisons we have in here. Almost enough to start playing Coolers. Depending on how this goes, if I felt like I could push a little bit, maybe I would hit with the Great Sandman Vanquisher ability because we have cards in our hand that we don't necessarily want to use, but just a single unison starts to draw here. See, this is actually like exactly what we needed. We can chill on this one. And that's just 25k. They have to decide what they want to do with that. And we can chill on this one. We can literally just chill on this one. If our opponent wants to get froggy, we can always hit with the Almighty Frieza. Now, granted, this is a tap out. So it depends on how the turn goes. We need to figure out what we're doing. But if they've got an established board and we have this isn't exactly the best turn to hit that tap out. But we don't have, there really depends. It really depends on the flow of the game from here. But we have the option to hit this guy. We also have the option to, if we wanted to keep our energy up, we can actually play a lot of defense here. If they swing on the Unison, they swing on the Unison. But if they try to push life, we have 2 Realm of the Gods here, able to just protect us and discard a card. So we have the potential to just kind of get in there a little bit fiercely. We also are able to play a super combo as well. In this case, I might tuck the Demigra if I am not using, I'm trying to think about how I want, because I do want to trigger cards. I can only play these once per turn, but these are good cards to be able to play sequentially. So yeah, you know what? We might just tuck the Demigra and draw 2 cards. That's interesting. Okay, we got an attack. And then actually that plays in perfectly, because now if they have another attack, we could just play the Neats and get rid of that. We draw a card from Cooler, and then we get to play that. And now we have even more defense. We get to stop an attack, and then we get to stop 2 more attacks. Well, 1 more attack with the Neats effect. Untapping, we now can start playing the game the way we want to play it. I don't think I'll be using another Ribrianne, so we can play this there. We have the ability to plus this guy for no reason. We have a little bit of combo power on the board, but now that we have these 3 Unisons in grave, we can now do things like tap 1 here, play this guy, make you discard a card. We can swing here with the Cooler, and you see draw 1 card, and if I don't play 1 green Unison, we're just going to opt to draw 1. And then, you know, we still have the ability to swing with this Cooler. We can combo on him if we want to, or we can save the combo power for later things. If they want to start swinging, we have the ability to hit with the Frieza. Well, we have Frieza Charismatic Villain. We have Dormant Potential, but we can also literally nuke their board. And if they want to commit to the board after that, we still have the ability to dormant them, which is a huge boon. So there's a whole lot of stuff there. Choose all your opponent's battle cards and KO them. Yep. So we have a fair amount of things we can do, and we still have the ability to hit them with the Charismatic Frieza to destroy something. And this is where, yes, I'm low on hand, but the board presence starts feeling really, really good. We'll draw into that. I do want to have a little more energy, and I have 3 of them in hand, all 3 copies, and hitting these 3 turns in a row is fine, but it's a little cost ineffective. So we can do things where we start drawing to see what cards we get. Okay, that's very neat. Actually, next turn is gonna be really fun. We have this. Why do I have this? We should have drawn another one last turn. Sorry. I completely saw this as a boss monster. I apologize. We have so much that we can do here. We have the ability to swing with this guy. He's a dual attack and he's a blocker. We can leave him up if we want to. We have the Cooler attack, and we can still make some massive investment plays. I mean, we can play this Cooler. We can get them to drop a card. I guess we would actually have had to bottom deck a Unison for this. And then once we're here again, we'd have to bottom deck another Unison. I would say that Neats at this point would be better for once we get a shuffle to get that effect off. And yeah. So from here, it just kind of gets rolling. We don't have a lot of hand, but the board presence is powerful, and we're actually starting to get to the point where they might not have a lot of good cards in hand. We can actually probably... Actually, yeah, we still have a lot of gas. If they wanted to get froggy and play something, we can always block an attack. You know, we can go in for the Salza, and the Salza would die, and this is every time a Unison card's right? Yeah, so we go in for the Salza, it would come in with max counters and blow up something, and we draw a card for my leader effect. And then, you know, if they did start swinging again, we could always, once they do that, play another Frieza, blow up more stuff, and then we're also still able to charismatic for a 3rd time. So yes, and we still have the sparking, so if we needed to even past that, we could sparking. And is this enough to kill my opponent? I'm actually not sure. We would draw into next turn for Demigra. None of that's pretty good, but we have 2 double strikers. We have combo power behind it. We have our Unison being able to -4 and go in, and then we also have the ability to, you know, get 1 more draw off of our leader on top of that. So yeah, this is a point where we actually have a lot to say with this archetype. Sorry for dipping off screen. So let's do a quick run of going first, and then we'll see where we go from there. Disclaimer though, because of the way this deck is with the counterplays and the counterattacks, there's a lot of stuff that you don't necessarily know how it would play out. You know what I'm saying? You just don't. And that's fine. This deck is kind of responsive, and there's a lot of ways you can build this because the core is nice, but green can be a little spongy, and the destruction changes from deck to deck. So going first is definitely a little odder. But we have some gas here. I'm gonna charge this because this can be pretty throwaway early in the game. It's like if I use it, I use it. If I don't, I don't. We have a fair amount of destruction. So tap this, make Demigra, +1 it, and pass. Once again, your opponent's in a position where no matter what they attack, it's gonna hurt. So if they attack Demigra with their leader, I just take a life, and then we draw. We're not really gonna be using another Demigra, so I'm going to charge that. I'm going to +1 here, and then we get to swing for 15, okay? Then we're going to swing here and take a life. And I don't necessarily need that other energy, so I'm going to opt to draw. Perfect. And then afterwards, I'm going to tap this, and I'm going to play Frieza. Now, it's important because if I swung with Cooler and found a reason to use my 2 energy, I might have just wanted to swing with the Demigra second. But in this case, like, yeah, I just, or first, but in this case, I wanted to make it clear. If I wanted to use my free effect from my leader, I didn't want to miss out on my Demigra swing. So we're gonna play this guy, and he's gonna go up to 3 counters off of the play. He's gonna discard a card from my opponent's hand. I'm gonna plus him to 4, and I'm gonna swing for 20k, and then I'm going to wait. Oh yeah, and we gotta draw from our leader because I killed something. I have to, Unison, I have to make sure I remember that. So after that, we are in a space where my opponent can swing, but if my opponent plays anything I don't like a setup card, like a, you know, like a 1-drop Gohan, or just any card that I feel like might get erased or might need to get erased off the board, we just tap 1, and we hit this man right here. And that's actually the beauty of it. He comes in with 3 and he pops, and then I draw my opponent's turn for that. Then on top of that, if my opponent wants to play something else, like if they play thwarting and then want to play something else, you know, we've literally got things like Charismatic Villain to come and clean it up even further. Drawing into next turn, we have all of our Champa destroys. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but we want to maximize the draws of our turn. So I'm trying to figure out exactly what I want to play. I still think we're gonna go off the double draws. I think we play another Champa here because it's just the weakest card in our hand right now for what we want to do. And yeah, we have two energy plays, and we can still keep 1 energy up for my opponent's turn. So that is actually the play. We're going to swing with this to draw a card and take a life. We're going to take a life, and we're not going to play a Unison. We're actually just going to keep that energy up. We're going to draw a card. Okay, after doing that, we are going to be able to swing for 15. And after swinging for 15, I'm going to kill that. And we're going to play the Demigra Unison. It doesn't have Empower, but it is what it is. And then we will put that at, we'll plus it, and we'll draw from our leader. So we're able to draw this, and then this from playing that. And then now that we have 3 Unisons in the drop, I am actually just going to tap 1 for my Cooler. And after tapping 1 for my Cooler, he's going to bottom deck one of these, and we'll just put the Salza, because that's an effect I definitely want to reuse, and they'll -1 from hand. And then we can swing with a double strike, and that sounds really cool. So we're gonna swing at that double strike and pass. Now we're at a space where we've got Dormant ready. We've also got Neats ready. If their board is established, we can play a Neats and just stop something from attacking and make something else not able to attack. We also can Charismatic Villain in the form of Salza, but we can also Shocking Death Ball if we so chose. I think in this case, it's likely that the best used card right here would be Neats to stop 2 attacks. And we'd be able to see how that goes. And then we're gonna draw a card from Cooler doing its thing. Another Needs, but we're tapped out. So this is probably the weakest turn, but we also have the ability to Dormant on the very next swing and see where it goes from there. Our Unison could get destroyed. That is a very, very high possibility. I'm not gonna front. So we'd have to see where it goes after that. After our Unison gets destroyed though, we do have Sparking, so there's a world where we could have stopped a crucial hit if they wanted to keep swinging. Now we're over here and we can kind of start playing a little more. I gotta start off one by charging. Neats is gonna be very important next turn. Actually, once again, I guess we're starting to see the weakest card in this deck by far. But we can put that down, play 1 for the Demigra. We're going to +1 that, and then here we go. We can now swing, take a life, see what we want in hand. The Dynasty is cool, and now I'm kind of considering whether or not I want the Dynasty or draw. I think right here, well, actually, that is stupid of me. I'm so sorry. We would have swung with the Dimmergro at 15. Then we swing with Cooler, and after swinging with Cooler, we could decide whether we want to draw one. I think in this case, we just play the Frieza. We play the Frieza. We're going to get the draw from our front side effect. We are going to have him at 3, and then we get to have my opponent drop 1 card. After dropping 1 card, we then get to, since we're at 4 life, I'd awaken here. We get to untap 1, draw 1, and then we get to sit with where we are. So that's a 15k attack and a 15k attack. Now we get a 20k attack off of this Frieza after +1ing it. Then we get a 20k attack off this Cooler. We can now, if we wanted to, since we still have the Mad Unisons engraved, we can tap this to play another Cooler and drop another card out of their hand when I bottom deck one of these Unisons, and this time it will be Neats. So we'll bottom deck that, and then we'll do that. We can swing again, and now we're just in a really nice position because next turn we can actually hit you with multiple iterations of Salza, or we can Neats. We have a super combo, we have a Shocking Death Ball, and we even have Majin Buu Kabuto Kai Absorbed. So we actually have a lot of options, you know? You play something silly and we can hit you with the Neats, or sorry, the Salsa. That's gonna allow us to draw 1 off of our leader effect into the Cooler, or sorry, the Frieza, but he also is gonna come out with his 3 maximum tokens. And I'm trying to see. So we played Frieza off that. Okay, I messed up one here because we started off the turn with 4 energy. We played the Dimmergro for 1. We untapped 1, but then we played the Cooler. Okay, cool. So yeah, we are able to be at 2 energy here, which is going to allow us to still, okay, yeah, play the Salsa if we need to, and we can still play the Neats if we need to. Sorry, I was a little weird on that one, but yeah, we still have a lot of just room to kind of spin our wheels to stop, you know, another attack and that. So we've got a little bit of destruction here. And then going into next turn, if their board is established, that's where we really start kind of messing up stuff. I don't necessarily feel like I need to invest another card to the board. We've got a fair amount right here. I could probably stay at 4 energy right now. Draw a card off of my leader effect. I'm not going to play a Unison. We do miss out on a Unison swing right here, but that's okay too. We'll +1 this guy, and we can just let our Coolers do a little bit of work and pass. And this is a very scary place to be in for your leader in this deck, because we are going to be able to just sit here and Frieza you if you have an established board, and there's nothing you can really do about that. You get Frieza'd, and after getting Frieza'd, you're just going to sit here and I draw into another super combo and most of your board gets messed up. So that's actually a very, very huge boon to the way this deck is going to be played. Past that, it really just kind of depends on how this game is going. But yeah, this deck is a very reflexive deck, and because of that, you're going to need to actually be able to see what your opponent's playing to play it effectively. This went on a little long, but there's a lot of kind of what ifs and a lot of counter moving and whatnot, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll be back tomorrow with the blue cards, you know, like I said, day 2 of blue cards, and then we'll have Meta Cooler after that. Thank you guys for being here. If you like the content, think about subscribing, and I will see you the next time you decide to join Universe X. Later.